So, what do you want to talk about? Hello and welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug. When I have to say, wouldn't recommend getting into the drug at the moment. My name is Travis Helwig.
I'm Darren Miller.
And I'm Vince LaRosa, and I was boycotting Leagues Cup. So was there a game today?
Oh wow, Vince! Wow,
I thought we were all doing that.
It was a cash grab from start to finish. I've been saying that for so long. There's
I think
no
we should
part
talk
of me
about.
that cared about this game.
Yeah, I think we should talk about how dumb Leagues Cup is. Really,
All right, let's just get it out of the way.
LAFC
fucking
lost in the
sucks.
finals.
We lost. I want to say 2-1. I don't count the last one. Look, we are 1-5 in finals as a club. I think that's something that we should not gloss over as fans. I think we're relatively optimistic as a podcast. Usually, that's not a good statistic. 20% of the time that we've been in a championship match, we have lost or we have won. 80% of the time we have lost. That is a quite bad statistic. We played a pretty abysmal first half and I thought the best half of soccer we've played against Columbus, or at least 90 minutes of soccer we've played against Columbus in the last 2 years in the second half. Really great second half up until extra time. And look, this sucks. It feels bad. As much as we pretend like we didn't care about Leagues Cup, we wanted to win that. We want to win trophies. And I think the thing that is most painful to me is Murillo and Giroud both seem like they got relatively not fun injuries in a game, in this game as well, right as the rest of the season and Open Cup are about to take off. So all around bad feelings in the middle of the day on a Sunday. And
Middle of the day on Sunday too. Ugh.
Yeah, gross day. Gross day overall.
This is a nighttime feeling for sure.
Although I'm happy I can maybe walk it off before bed, you know?
What, walk this off?
Yeah, this feeling.
Oh, that's optimistic. The return of optimism.
Look, let's talk about it a little bit, Vince. Vince, what did you see from the team in the first half? What changed in the second half, and how did things fall apart? And why is it the fault of Steve Cherundolo, Hugo Lloris, Edward Atuesta, Eddie Segura for being subbed into the game?
I thought Eddie Segura was good.
Eddie Segura had a great game, but people were very upset when he came on.
I was a little worried about him because obviously after his consecutive ACL injuries, pace is not the thing that he has left. And he never was very fast in the first place. And when you're playing Columbus, that's like kind of tricky, change of direction. It's like sometimes he's like the last thing you want to see. But I thought and also the game was going so fast, but he came right into the game and got right up to it. But yeah, I mean, so heartbreaking, obviously, like you lose a final, but we're here we're definitely here to hear some of the emotion, hear that out. But if you do want to talk a little bit about like how the game went, and we can kind of break it down. For me, the first half was poor play, lack of execution. So last time LAFC played Columbus, they tried to play them pretty straight up. They were in a 4-3-3. They tried to push up the field. They actually tried to play through the press a lot. And they lost 5-1. And I think a lot of people after that game were like, why do we keep doing the same thing? So Steve Cherundolo has definitely changed the profile of this team, especially in this tournament, more so than anything. I don't know if for sure the 3-4-3 stays, but in this tournament, it was like, look, let's be very difficult to get quality chances on, and then let's kill teams in transition.
So sorry to interrupt, Vince. It's a lot less fun after a loss, but we have a super chat which we are required to say out loud the minute it comes in from Nut. Genius idea. Why don't we hire Wilfred Nancy? Honestly, cool. Let's give it a shot.
Great.
Nut, who commented that? Do you have any connections to him? Maybe we could get to him.
You know what? No, we will actually save the $2 and pass along to John Thorrington and see what we can do.
Oh, maybe it's money. Yeah, maybe another $2 will help. Yeah,
this is now the Fun Nancy Fund.
There's nothing. I know that people are really upset after this game, and a lot of people are upset with Steve Cherundolo. Getting fired after Leagues Cup is very funny.
Right. I mean,
Sorry, keep going.
the coach from Monterrey got fired. But
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
True.
very different situation. But so in this game, instead of trying to play through the press, what we saw was LAFC was going to trade possession for field for basically for field position. And through the first, let's say 10 minutes, it was okayish. But we've talked about this a couple times on the podcast, and it's kind of a high level thing that I really want to kind of pass along. That I think if you're saying that like LAFC had bad tactics, I don't think the tactics were bad. It was execution, and this is something that Julian Nagelsmann says, who Steve Cherundolo will be very familiar with, being a German coach. He's the coach of the German national team. He wants his teams to finish actions, and by that he means like get the ball to an area. Obviously, ideally, finish the action with the ball in the back of the net. But if you cannot, get the ball to an area where we can then be up the field and be compact. And what LAFC kept doing, and you saw Boanga was guilty of this. Bogusz was guilty of this. Atuesta obviously had straight up giveaways. But even when they would get into the final third, it was like a couple times Boanga would cut back and give it to a defender. It's like, no, I would much rather you rip a shot, it goes out of bounds, and then the whole team pushes forward. And for me, I think Steve would have been pissed off because the plan was, let's get the ball forward. Let's not deal with their press at all. And when we can't get the ball forward, at least if we're forward, we can win the second ball. And that's what you saw in the second half, was them finishing plays, them getting the ball farther forward, and them finishing off, or collecting second balls. I think a lot of that does have to do with your change of personnel. Atuesta had a bad game, and Lewis O'Brien definitely fit the game much better. I think Tillman coming in, he was definitely a little rusty, but he's better at picking out the right passes to get it into areas where, again, finish the action. So at least if we lose the ball, we don't have to then try to transition defensively. Because as good as Columbus is with possession, they are also very good in transition. As we saw, there was a few scary moments in that first half where LAFC just gave up the ball in the final third, and then had to hurry back as quickly as possible. When realistically, again, I would rather the ball go out of bounds. I would rather go out of bounds. Let's start from a restart. We're a good pressing team. We can get the team forward. We can be compact, and we can make the field longer for Columbus. And then, honestly, when you're not finishing the play and you're now having to defend so much, it's literally that you sitting back. And Columbus got in a rhythm, and that's what we saw in the first half. And that's why it was such a bad first half. Columbus was just like, we're in a rhythm now. Go ahead. Good luck getting the ball off us. We're also very good. I mean, I would like to note that like Columbus is good. Like, has anyone said that yet in the chat? I mean, they're really good. They are the reigning MLS Cup champions. They had great reactions. They play their game very well, but for me, it wasn't a tactical problem. It was some players had really bad games. I actually thought Steve made some really good adjustments to the second half, and especially making the substitutions that he made. He went for it.
We had the best half we've ever played against. Well, not ever. The best half we played against Columbus in a year and a half. We had in the second half up until the last few minutes. And I'm not making excuses. This sucks.
No. And people keep saying that tactically the Crew are good. They are, but it's more their game model that you like. You like the possession game model. That's the way they play. What you have is a coach that is staunch in the way he plays. Like Wilfred Nancy is like, we play this way, and if you can't play this way, you're out. Whereas Steve Cherundolo, as we've seen, will change depending on the personnel he has available.
Right.
Obviously,
Bob Bradley was more.
Bob Bradley is more of a Wilfred Nancy type coach, and Steve Cherundolo is not. And look, it helped LAFC in the short term in that 2022 season, and then obviously going to finals. And yes, Travis, I think we should talk more about lack of wins in finals, but it's not as disappointing as it is on the high level. Like, oh, that sucks. We can't win finals.
Yeah.
I think we do need to talk about then how do you win finals? Like, is it fire everybody, start from scratch? Because I think, and look, I don't have the answer. That's why I don't work for LAFC, I suppose. I don't work in the front office, but neither does anybody in the chat. If you're going to a lot of finals and then you tell me, let's fire the coach, let's change everything up, there also is a very good chance you will no longer be going to those finals.
Well,
I just don't know. I just don't understand how you can say, like, let's throw the baby out with bathwater. But I agreed. So pragmatically, the team, and they do this. They say, like, how can we get better the next time? How did we lose this final? Is it something endemic of our team? Or was it that finals are basically coming down to you're in a sport where execution matters and randomness is high? And Columbus executed They have a very good team. One, obviously they're in the final. They executed, and sometimes luck doesn't go your way. And I know that's really hard to take right now, but like literally that's I hate to break it to you. If you're going to be a soccer fan for the rest of your life, and you're not going to want to have a heart attack and be pissed off every moment, every waking moment, if your team's not good, you're going to have to somehow make peace with that.
Look, I agree with you for the most part. I do think like it is okay to be angry right now. This sucked, and this was, and I will say like, we were not the better team, and so when that happens, we do have to say, okay, how do we adjust and become the better team? I think
being angry is different from having solutions, though, right?
Right, but we're not the coach. We're fans. We can be angry. So like,
oh sure,
and that's part of what this is, right? Is like we're here to find joy in being a fan of a team, and when they're not bringing us joy, it is fully fair game, I think, for us to say, hey, what the fuck, right? We've gone to 5, we've lost 4, and that's not what that percentage isn't close to randomness. That starts to lean towards a trend. Now, what my actual concern is last time we lost a final, we really wanted to win in the middle of the season. Things went downhill for the team for quite a long time mentally. And I'm hopeful that that's not the case for the coming Open Cup game against Seattle. But if we don't have Murillo and we don't have Giroud, and I have a feeling we don't have either of them for that match, especially on turf, what are we going to... Will the team be able to bounce back after what I know that they're feeling was a pretty crushing loss? Oh, did we skip a super chat? We have to say,
Travis.
Oh no,
sorry to interrupt. I did hold out as long as I could, but Chris P with $1.99 says somebody said LAFC equals losing all finals club.
Almost all, and that's important.
Yeah,
LAFC.
But if you put it in parentheses, it still works.
Yeah,
so
it does.
Just, Chris, go back, take this back, take these notes.
Chris, tell him.
Go back and then redo
Clap back,
t-shirts.
Chris.
So look, all I'm saying is I think it's fair for people to be upset with. I don't know if maybe I agree with the anger towards Steve as much as other people do. You're welcome to have those opinions. I think Atuesta, both in this game and in a couple of recent games, has looked pretty poor. I'm very thankful to have Tillman back out there. Tillman saved the game in the second half earlier with that slide after Lewis O'Brien turnover, or the Lewis O'Brien turnover, I think. So, and honestly, like Giroud we have not found a way to get him the ball. And the moment we got him the ball, he scored a goal. And I think we also need to figure out what we need to adjust in the front line to make Giroud more effective as a player, because he can score. We want him to score, and we haven't given him the opportunities to do it. We looked more dynamic with Kai Kamara in there than when Giroud was up front. And Kiki Oliveira also looked much... Bogusz had a rough game, I think, in the first half. Darren, we haven't heard from you at all. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm pissed off.
It's been 15 minutes in without you saying anything.
Well, on purpose. You guys have... I'm here to learn most of the time. I guess usually don't have a ton to add either. Like, I'm pissed off. I agree. I think it's okay to be pissed off. I don't think I agree with both of you. It's also not like throwing the baby out with the bathwater doesn't seem like the right solution either. It feels very silly to me to like lose in a big game and then be like, let's fire the coach. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. Like we're here, we're at the big game. We came close enough to winning that game that we easily could have won that game. Like, so
you're saying we should be happy with the participation trophy? Is that what you're saying? No, you're just an entitled millennial excited to be there.
Yeah, that is a point I want to make. That also, none of this means that we're just happy to be here, which I've seen a bunch in the chat. No, I don't know why that's an interpretation of what any of us are saying. That's not in any way what any of us are saying. We're not just happy to be here. I don't think
anyone's actually listening to us. I don't think so either. Right?
Yeah,
which is fine.
The idea that like not...
I'm having fun. I like the anger in the chat. I want them to be mad at us.
Oh yeah,
It's more fun when
I'm all for it. Yeah, that's fine too. I'm just saying the idea that not wanting to completely change the team and the coach means that we're content makes zero sense at all. Like, that's not what's happening. So I think that's a dumb argument. We're not just happy to be here. We're pissed off, and it's okay to be pissed off, but also still feel like the team is capable of winning these games. I think they are capable. They could have easily won that game. They blew it. They've blown it a lot. I don't know that we're here.
And
I don't think the point of the show is for us to provide the right solution. And I don't think we're going
I'm a
to.
comedy
And I don't
writer.
think anyone in the chat's going to either. Like,
Vince is the only one who knows anything, and he doesn't have any emotion. He's a machine.
One solution is to play better and win the games. Score more goals would be a good solution.
Just play like Columbus.
Yeah, all we have to do is play like Columbus.
Also,
Look,
hot take, but I think we should not do what we are doing, which leads to losses. So I think less of what we're doing and more of winning would be a good way to win, in my opinion.
If we score more goals than the other team next time, I do think we have a good chance of winning.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Someone fact check that. I don't know. I don't know if that's
Vince. Let us feel.
You know what? No, I think honestly, all it takes is one more goal than the other team. If we only score one more goal than they do, I think we will win.
Again, I have never seen this. No one said this to me. It's all about tactics and playing like Columbus. And I don't understand what you're talking about with these goals. I don't even know what you're talking about, Darren, by saying we had a chance to win. We went there and everyone knew we were going to lose. Yeah, clearly.
I'm sorry,
the second that Cucho scored that goal, it was over. And LAFC was never in that game. Even when it was 1-1, the game was not 1-1, Darren. It just wasn't.
That's true.
Vince, the number of people who aren't going to understand your sarcasm is too high.
I know. I'm going all in. I really, as someone said, Vince got a job and he doesn't care anymore. And I'm like, maybe.
You don't need that Patreon money anymore. So sorry to interrupt myself. Lisa Kushida says with a super chat, love your Black Diamonds jersey. This is that Nashville or not Nashville, New Mexico supporters club.
Nice when you can design cool things on jerseys.
So sorry to interrupt the interruption, but the one and only Christian Philly. Thank you very much for joining us on the show and for providing a little bit more levity.
Here's what they don't know.
I guess we can muster.
Here's what they don't know.
Is idiotic.
Philly is that all of us are being paid by the front office to defend LAFC at all times.
Not a big amount. We're not good at it.
Look,
but just enough to let us keep going because
people are giving us $1.99 in the super chat, but they don't know we're getting paid $3.99 by the team.
I got a job, but I still want to do this. Travis, successful comedy writer, but he'll give it all up for John Thornton. And Darren's been wanting this for ages. Actually, if you guys don't know, Darren I have this little tactics board. Darren has 50 of them. I don't know what he does with them. He has 50 of them. And
he keeps us all dumb. He doesn't.
They all play against each other. Yeah, he's a liar. He actually writes everything that we do, and he's sending me lines as we speak.
Look, I think the thing that I want to make sure we get across is that this sucks. This is not acceptable from a team. That said, it happens. It seems to happen quite frequently in the finals for us. All of those things are true. It's good to get to the finals. I actually think we played a good second half. And also, it sucks that we lost and we played a worse game than the Columbus Crew. We haven't played better than them in 2 years. We are maybe the best team in the West, but we are maybe third or fourth in the East. That is the honest assessment of where this team is right now. We are not as good as that team. And we came close to bringing them to penalties in their home, a place they haven't lost, I think, in forever.
They lost 2 times in 42 games.
Yeah. So we came close to bringing them to PKs. We are not as good of a team as the Columbus Crew right now. Some of that is on Dolo. A lot of it is on the execution.
Travis, but Tim Morgan has
this is tactical.
Given us $1.99.
He's tactically interrupted you
and is self-silencing himself with no comment. Tim, I know you. I know.
It's the opposite of what was happening in the Patreon earlier, Tim.
Tim is really the toxicity with Tim in the chat is skyrocketing, but maybe you can continue that if you can figure out technology. Thank you for joining us.
Just bribe us and we'll keep you around. Look, they've been waiting for a while. This is who I know everyone wants to hear from.
He says no words, just happy to be here. The blank super chat was symbolic. Thank you so much for your protest.
Fun of us. He's making fun of us for saying we're just happy to be here. It was passive aggressive. Learning it now. So look,
wow.
we are here to bring on someone who I can only assume. Tim is doing it again. $1.99. Just happy to be here. We got the joke before you did it, but we're happy we got $2 more from you. Thank you for the super chat. This is who everyone wants to hear from. The man who will speak for the people. Nope, not yet. $4.99 from Dolo out. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to get hurt in every finals. Sad face. Pain is part of life. Yeah. That's what this is all about. If you don't want to feel sadness, don't be alive.
But other people have said that Ante Razov was the brain. So if Steve is just a patsy, then maybe not getting rid of Steve. I'm just saying.
The job you got is being like a
bring on talk. Just bring him on. Just
wait. $5 from Nut says, "Is this enough money to skip talk?" Listen,
oh my god, this is unprecedented.
If we can raise $30 right now, we will skip Jeff Talk. We will not bring him on if Jeff Talk.
Wait, but I want to. There's one more rule. It has to be net 30. If you're contributing to keep talk on, that does count also.
Oh, we can battle it out. This could be a long podcast.
Oh, god damn it.
I don't like our position in this. I think it's. I don't think we should be doing this. I don't think we should.
Darren,
be
I have
profiting
never
off of
liked
this.
our
This is
position.
Let it gold for podcasts.
Oh, I thought you meant the whole thing we were doing.
Okay, look,
money.
I'm gonna bring him on. The heel of the foot, the man we all love to hate. Someone who I can't wait to scream at in a few minutes. Please welcome. Oh, wait, we got $5 for the Skip Talk Fund
is on.
Oh,
Skip Talk Fund is on. Oh my god, bring him on.
It's been
Aaron laid down the gauntlet.
$10, bring him on. Jeff Talk, here we go. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Oh my
Thank you so much for having me. Aaron Goodwin, you're the best. Isaiah Lopez, where's your $5 to keep me on, man? You're always fucking talking about how much you love. I never see any $5.
The people have spoken, and here you are.
You will continue to not see that money. We're taking it.
Jeff, what are your worst opinions? Wait, hold on. Tim Morgan, $1.99, super chatting into bankruptcy.
That's a good treat.
God damn it, Andrew Lomanelli, Skip Talk.
It's too late, guys. Stop with the Skip Talk. It's too late. He's on.
He's on.
No,
Jeff,
give us 30 while I'm on. You can hang up on me when you hit $30.
That's a good point. Okay, Jeff, tell us how you're feeling, please.
Okay, so we were beaten by 2 people tonight and 2 people only. The first of those people is Tim Bezbachenko, who's the Columbus Crew GM, because the Columbus Crew have 3 DPs that are all playing really well.
He's not the GM anymore.
What? Well, whatever. Whoever the guy is now. Who's the GM now?
It was like his number 2 or
number. Typical Jeff Talk, speaking confidently with no information.
Bezbachenko's at Bournemouth, but point taken.
Well, he built the team. We're giving him credit for the
I'm
team
sure he watched the game.
Yeah. Frosty, thank you so much for the super chat, $1.99. We love you, Frosty. Go ahead, Jeff.
Anyways, and the second is Todd Saldana, who runs LAFC's academy, because the guy who scored the 3rd goal, putting us away tonight, was a homegrown player. We did not have a homegrown player touch the pitch. We have 2 homegrown players that regularly make the team, neither of whom start. Eric Duenas started in the last game on the 5-1 loss. That's not to say Eric Duenas and our forward friend are not good players, but they're not contributing to the team at the level where we're able to spend that money better other places. And so until we get really a lot of influx from, by the way, one of the most productive youth soccer places in the country, Southern California, where we have a monopoly on players along with the Galaxy, thanks to MLS's weird homegrown roster rules. We're going to struggle because when we don't have the players that are helping us on the salary cap at those lower levels, and we're not able to sign a 3rd DP for whatever reason. Jay Gutierrez, why you got all the numbers, man? What's the 81088? I don't know what that
birthday. It's his birthday, you
nervous.
fucking idiot. Of course it's
his
birthday.
Yeah. All guys with 88 in there are born in 88. That's definitely what it is, Travis. Just like Mateus Bogusz is a real lefty now.
Let's not get into that.
Keep going.
Anyways, my point is,
as a Gigi Buffon fan, let's not get into that.
Goal. He's a homegrown forward for Columbus. They have 3 DPs.
That goal did not matter.
My point, listen, it's a metaphor. It's supposed to.
It's a metaphor.
Larger point.
You know
what is poetry?
Max Arfiston is a homegrown, not for Columbus. He's a San Jose homegrown. So I think your first point was better. I'm just saying, no.
Jesse P. I'm saying $10. Let talk cook, you fools.
What I'm saying is, I think your first point was better. They built the team well for Nancy. They did it.
Thank you, Marcos.
Tim Bezbachenko, who worked in the front office for a while, just like a certain Will Kuntz, or sorry, the MLS front office. So knows how to the ins and outs probably better than most, and did a great job. And to your point, yes, he definitely built this team, and he has moved on to Bournemouth. So it was definitely an upgrade. He did what he did. He brought them trophies and moved on. They're a good team. Like, they're well put together. I don't think that LAFC is not well put together. Could they be better put together? Possibly. Like, that's what we're saying when we're saying, like, let's be careful what we wish for with all the changes. Like, you could, I'm not saying don't change anything, but it seems like everyone's like, let's just get rid of everything and start from scratch. Without acknowledging the fact that what the structure is now did still get them to 1-1 into the 90th plus minute of the League's Cup final. So
we have advantages that the Crew doesn't have. We have the homegrown territory of Southern California, and we have Olivier Giroud wants to come here. Like, we have advantages other teams don't have.
Are you saying that people don't want to go to Columbus, Ohio, the third best city in Ohio? Are you saying that they don't have that as an advantage?
The heart and soul of soccer in America?
Cleveland? I think it's better than Cleveland. I would say Cincinnati, number one. Obviously, they got the cheerleader a little closer to Kentucky. And then I would say Columbus, number two, unfortunately, because I think Cleveland really sucks. But yeah, no, the point is, generally speaking, by the way, are those cities walkable? My point is that nobody wants to go to fucking Ohio. We live in Los Angeles, right? Like, they
do when they play in this certain way. Like, if I was a soccer player and I was like, I like the way Wilfred Nancy plays, I'd want to go there. Jeff, where are some of these players coming from? I mean, as much as we hate Columbus, some of these players come from places that aren't better than Columbus.
Sure, but wouldn't they rather be in Los Angeles where they can?
Yeah, but they can't all come to Los Angeles. Like,
no, but
that's the thing.
We get the cream of the crop.
Oh,
Everybody wants to come here.
Your point is that because we have that advantage, we should
win every game.
No. Hold on. I like that you're putting words in my mouth and words in the chat's mouth, and the chat's all.
Oh, now you're letting the chat. You're saying I'm speaking for the chat.
I'm defending the chat.
You piece of fucking shit.
I'm defending them even though they're paying to keep me off this. So remember,
it's been 50-50. Let's be fair.
Man of the people.
Anyways, my point is we should win every free agent. Everybody's going to want to come here first before they want to go to Columbus. That's just the stone cold fact. That's why we have Drew. That's why we're going to get Griezmann. That's why we got Vela. Even is these guys want
right. But those you just made 2 points that contradict each other, right? Like, we can't use that DP slot if we're going to save it for Griezmann, right? We were trying to get him by the end of
No. We could absolutely use that. What did we do in 22 when we won the cup, right?
We got Christian Teo.
Christian Teo came in as a DP.
He was incredible.
But we spent the money. Don't tell me we can't spend the money. Like, guys, it's not about the idea of like we have to wait for Griezmann so we can't fill a third spot. That's fine if we're having the fourth young DP, whatever, and we're winning. We're not winning, and we have advantages that Columbus does not have structurally and on the ground. And that's what's frustrating to me is that.
But to Travis's point, if you really want Griezmann and there's a good chance you're still going to get him sooner than later, do you then just panic buy and just spend a bunch of money just to spend it?
It's not my fucking money. Absolutely. Go panic buy Willian for 6 months. 100%.
I'm just saying Willian's a free agent. So,
go pay him $20 million.
Okay, he wouldn't have been here regardless. So, but yeah,
I think he would have helped our speed issues for sure during that game.
Yeah,
I would just say that you're
hasn't played in like 6 months.
Look, there's no free agent that isn't going to want to come and hang out and play in Los Angeles for 3 months. That's how we got Teo. Like, this idea that like we can't do these things when we've done these things is frustrating.
Well, okay.
It's not panic buy. Guys, it's not just like panic buy like we're going to hold on to this guy for 8 years and because we're going to buy him right now.
We're getting into the weeds of a theoretical conversation. Let's talk about the game we just saw, which is we're talking about
Jeff didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
I wish it
Jeff's boycotting too.
No, listen, Vince understands the tactics way more than I do. I can just talk to you about the structural aspects of how this shit works in a way that, like,
if you say the word tactics,
Vince understands that more than you do too.
If you say the word tactics,
but he wants to talk about tactics. What's the lane? Like,
Vince will then say, I don't mean tactics. I mean these three other terms. I wish you would use these three other terms instead of tactics.
Yeah, can we talk about game model?
We need etymology of different soccer terms.
Oh, I thought you were going to say some edamame. That sounds good.
Oh, I did have edamame a few hours ago. Jeff, we're going to give you 30 seconds to finish this up because I'm really getting tired of listening to your horrible voice.
I just like to say that it's a shame that you guys are wrong so much, but it does lead for an entertaining shit. That's like really fun for the chat to like.
Jeff, I wish you weren't alive. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
Does he
Thank you,
realize
Jeff.
it's not that this is hard for us too? We don't like being wrong.
I can't tell you.
Actually, I
how
love
much
being wrong. I'm wrong all the time, and I'm here for it.
watching that game, right? Like the first half, I was like, I can't believe I'm gonna have to do a fucking live stream after this game. Second half, I was like, oh, maybe there's a world in which this will be fun. And then it just is like getting shot in the heart right before you have to go talk to people on YouTube and be like, I have to just talk to people about this. I feel really fucking sad. I wanted to win that game. I know it's just Leagues Cup. I'm tired of losing in finals too. We also, I think, aren't irrational people. And so we're trying to say, hey, losses happen. I do feel the same depth of anger that I think a lot of the people in the chat do. I am not the type of person who wants to fire Steve Cherundolo, but I also understand why people might say, hey, we've lost 4 finals or 3 finals under him or whatever. It's time to look at why. I don't agree with them, but I don't think it's an irrational thing to say anymore. I think it's at least a position people can have. And I go, I see where you're coming from. You're just being, I do think it's irrational, but I do think it's an emotionally okay opinion to have because we're all feeling sad and this is a sad day. He's been waiting for a while. Our good friend, LAFC Luke, has gotten back from his walk. That's how long we've been waiting. He was walking at the start of this. LAFC Luke, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think I was just waiting for Jeff Talk to stop talking about third DPs and shit. I was like, what are we talking about right now? What is happening? We just lost Leagues Cup final and we're talking about that? All right. We've lost the thread. Look,
LAFC have 3 DPs just like Columbus do, by the way. Because Nagby's a buy. They can buy down Nagby just like we can buy down at Tuesta. Sorry, Luke. I don't want to cut you off, but that's, I think, an important point.
I don't care about DPs right now. Luke, go ahead.
Look, I was grateful that we had like 40 plus people at High Tops Los Feliz taking in the game. And for 90 minutes, mostly rocking it out, having a good time. It was like shocking at the end there and just sucked. But honestly, like, I think the first half, I was listening to you guys at the start of the show, like, to me, the strategy was let them have the ball and see what they can do with it, and maybe we can counter. It felt like we got a little too deep in that, and we especially with a Tuesta at the end there, just didn't keep the assignment. But like for the most part, it just felt like watching any of these other games we've been playing this Leagues Cup where we just gave possession to the other team and said, all right, see what you can do, and maybe we can counter. But Columbus was better at defending the counter than any of the teams we played. Like they kept getting back, and so we couldn't free Bogusz or Bwanga out there. Second half, I thought we looked a lot better. I thought the subs were great. I don't know why we didn't start out that way. And honestly, like I gotta agree with Travis. My biggest worry in all of this is that it's like CONCACAF last year, where we crashed out against Leon, and then we just had summer from hell. I don't want that this year. But I'm nervous that like we gave it our all and we lost Giroud, we lost Murillo, and like what's gonna happen?
And I think we can't forget that Seattle is desperate to beat us right now. We've humiliated them multiple times. So we're walking in at a low and they're walking in with a pretty big desire to beat us.
And also, I don't give a fucking shit that we qualified for CONCACAF next year. Who cares? Another tournament where we can lose the final? Like, I want to fucking win a final.
We have to be happy to be there.
I mean, you do have to be in the tournament to win a final, though.
Yeah,
like even beyond being in the final to win the final.
You also have to win the final to win the final. Like, I'm so tired of this fucking.
I know, but
this
is a cart before the horse argument. You have to be in the tournament to get to the final to lose.
No, but if we didn't make the tournament, we wouldn't be feeling sad right now.
Sure.
Vince. I don't want to feel.
I don't even know why they play games at all. To be honest,
why don't we?
We have cool hats. Why don't we just walk around with LAFC hats?
I mean, look.
Sorry to interrupt this spiral to nowhere, but we have another super chat.
We should be any of the other 20 some odd teams in Major League Soccer that didn't get to this point, right? Right.
Luke, we are required contractually to say this out loud right now. From $4.99. When we get a coach that can win finals, we are going to dominate. Until then, we're going to choke in every final. Adding to the spiral. Go ahead, Luke. Keep going with what you're saying.
bullshit, y'all. Like, we are so fucking spoiled that we keep getting the finals. And yeah,
Let's get into it, baby.
It fucking sucks to lose a final. I was there in Columbus in December. It sucked. I was like, no way in hell. I'm going back to Columbus, which, by the way, this Michigan grad already had plenty of reason to hate Columbus, seeing their Ohio State fucking marching band out in the field before the game. Fuck that. I was not here for it. Like, you know, whatever. And they want to call themselves black and gold. Fuck you, Columbus. You know, we got the maize and blue and we got the gold at Michigan. So, you know what? They can suck a nut. But, like, you know what? It sucks to lose, but we were there. We were in the final.
You're going to get so much shit for
I'm so over this, like, fire Dolo. We can't do it. Fuck off. We got all the way to the final. And we were in the semis of the U.S. Open. And we're at the top of the Western Conference if we can actually, you know, play some games again. Like, we are cooking every freaking season. We are so spoiled, and I love it. But I just wish we could win one of these fucking finals.
I think you're speaking. I like angry Luke. This is fun. I like you being aggressive.
You're also uniting everyone's position. The on the show and in the chat. You've found the middle of the Venn diagram.
Run for office.
Desperately searching for. So
we have a couple other callers. So I'm going to let you go. But Luke, we love you. Thanks for making us all look smarter. We did get a super chat while that was happening. $1.99 from Taylor Ferguson. Dads, why do bad things happen to nice people? I don't know. Living in Los Angeles, we already have it pretty good. So I feel like when people love when bad things happen to us, I would say.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. I've only been in positions and come from places and lived in cities where it really is like, probably like cosmically and objectively good when the team I'm supporting loses.
Mm-hmm. That's true of you. I would agree with that. Second place is first loser. I think that's true. We've talked about it on the show before when we've lost other finals, the silver medal syndrome. Coming in second in any tournament psychologically feels worse than coming in third, coming in fourth. You can
if you
taste
said to me,
the win.
Should we be happier than a lot of other MLS teams? I would say, yeah,
of course.
We should be happier than every single MLS team and Liga MX team that's not the Columbus Crew, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
no,
both things can be true.
Yeah, we can hold both these things. You're all grown ups in the. Well, never mind.
I like the raw anger that both the chat and all of us are feeling. We're just taking it out on each other. We got some more callers. Let's bring them on.
Yes.
Well, I can't read your full name. It's too long. Why aren't you saying it out loud?
Who chose mandala tattoo, man?
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. First time caller, long time listener.
Thank you for calling.
Happy to be on.
Thank you.
So I'll start off with the sad foot. That sucked. You know, not super happy with that. Especially being from Ohio and having a lot of friends who are Columbus Crew fans. That was not super fun to deal with in my mentions. I guess I'll just say like Dolo out, right, guys? Like
that's what we all agree.
That.
For a first-time caller, you really are jumping into the belly of the beast here. You're jumping right into the fire.
Quickly,
he's playing the hits, Darren. He's playing the hits.
I need to interrupt you. Martin did say for $1.99, only happy foot this week is that Vince got hired. That's true, Vince. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. Thank you, Martin. Keep going. Didn't mean to interrupt, but we legally have to.
Like Tim or Darren, but you know, I feel like we put up a solid, valiant effort. I like the three in the back. Obviously, you know, 4-3-3 didn't work. I'll leave it to Vince to tell everybody, you know, the best formation to try to beat Columbus, but obviously we just can't do it. And I am coming to terms with that.
They're better than us. I think we need to be okay with that. They're a better team than us. And that is what is true right now. We can be a worse team can beat a better team on certain days. That has not yet happened in the last 3 times we've played them, and they've been better than us in all 3 times.
You can't win every game, so I've come to terms with that, and hopefully we don't meet them in the playoffs.
Yeah, let's hope Messi beats them, and then all of Miami gets hurt in that game.
Yeah, we're all Messi fans.
Yeah. Everybody gets a red card like they've been going towards, and we'll get the win, and that'll be great.
Where are you right now?
I am outside of Sunright in Arcadia.
Cool.
Just
All right.
It looked like you were in a mall, so I was just like,
It is. It's a semi-outdoor mall. Just waiting on my boba.
Oh, well
yeah.
then there's a happy ending.
Happy foot.
exactly.
You
There's the
getting
happy
boba.
foot.
Happy foot. I will be nourished very soon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the call, and
Thanks for
love
calling
what
in.
you
Please
guys
call in again. And next time you have to be really angry at everyone. I think that's important.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
the baseline.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thanks so much for calling in,
All
man. Do it again. I want to say something. While that was happening, I remembered a point that I wanted to make. I saw a lot of people upset with Hugo Lloris for that second goal. As myself, a strong defender of goalkeepers, that was not his fault. You cannot react when the ball's coming across, because if a head gets on that, you have to go in the immediate opposite direction. You have to wait to see if the ball gets touched on a head. He was put in a difficult position. The ball went through, but you literally can't. It would have looked insane if he dove to one way and the ball had trickled in the other way. He at least had a chance of saving it. So Hugo, people had legitimate gripes against him, I think, earlier in the season. I think he's been incredible the second half of the season. You cannot blame him for that second goal, and I will die on that hill. He couldn't have done anything. He literally couldn't have done anything. Is he a step slower than he used to be? Yes. I don't think any keeper in the league could stop that without a little luck.
That's a good comment.
Fair comments from Pedro. We forgot to give them diarrhea. We did. We didn't do that. That
Tactics,
is the
guys.
so far. That is the playbook
Tactics.
to beat them. It has worked every time.
So sorry to interrupt. Marcos Ramiro says, will Vince say Dolo out if we lose to Indy 11 in the Open Cup final?
Marcos, we have to beat Seattle. So you're already just assuming we're good enough to go to another final? Is that the sign of a good team or no? I don't know. No one knows. Why don't
we forfeit the game? We should forfeit against Seattle. I don't want to play soccer anymore. I don't want to watch sports. I just want to watch Love Island USA. I got to get to the reunion. I got to know what happens. I don't want it to get spoiled. So I don't want to watch soccer anymore.
Right. I would actually rather we do that so that I don't have to say Dolo out, because I'm such a huge Steve fan, and I would rather we forfeit. We don't even need to be part of this.
Can someone check on Low Man Trash Can? There's multiple people in the chat reporting that he is not okay. Which he shouldn't be. None of us should be. None of us are.
Low Man, we love you. We hope you're okay. There's people here that care about you. Giardo Rios with the super chat, $1.99 said, is Atuesta with us on loan? Do we want to keep him? I don't know. Vince?
He is on loan. I don't know. It depends. I mean, yeah, he had a bad game. He's had good games. I think at the salary he comes in at, and the fact that you can buy him down. Is there a midfielder that is available in the world that you can get that's better than him? Maybe, but he also knows the system, knows the city, loves being here. There's a lot more that goes into it. And again, is coming off. If you believe that this is his level after coming off a major injury and he cannot get better, then yeah, maybe you don't. But there is a world in which he continues to get better. The system's a little bit better. I really don't think that, and I've said this all throughout Leagues Cup, I really don't think him and Ilie in a 2 and a 3-4-3 is actually good for him. It was good for the team. It worked out. They made it work. They look good at times, but long term, it's not good for him because it just doesn't fit into his game. So that's not his fault per se. So I don't know.
I also think there was a body language problem with Atuesta this game that I think people can pick up on, where he just seemed annoyed from the beginning, right? He didn't run back on defense. And Lewis O'Brien had a fine game, I thought. Like I think he made some mistakes, but he seemed to be giving it his all. And at times Atuesta doesn't seem like he works all that hard. I think it's just a style of play difference. But I think sometimes that body language can make people think that he's given up as opposed to that's how he plays. Whereas O'Brien, was sprinting around the field. Also, before I forget, a lot of people are hanging out with us. If you don't subscribe, we do this after every game. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. It'll help more people find it. We do a preview and a post game before usually every game. We have one final caller that's waiting to be on. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Any happy feet or sad feet? Particularly happy feet is what I want to know about.
Yeah. First happy foot probably be, Giroud. Good to see him start, finally fit enough to start. I thought his hold-up play was pretty good tonight. There was times, off those like long goal kicks from Lloris, he would just hold up the ball, and center backs were like really tugging on his jersey. I don't know why he didn't get a call like a few times there, but that's besides the point. Palencia, always solid. He had that one ball, I think it was into Bouanga, where he's like one-on-one with the goalie. It was a great ball. Wasn't really like pleased with Bouanga today. I thought he could have took more defenders on, and like times where he had that left back. Columbus's right back, and like I kind of isolated, and he just kind of looked for a pass instead of taking players on, as we've seen him do like many times and what he's known for. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't pleased with Bouanga. I thought maybe keeping Bogusz on was the play, especially like in a 1-1 game. We need his service is way better than Bouanga's. You've seen it with, the goal was off of Bogusz's corner, right? So like even like with Kai Kamara's goal against the Galaxy, 4th of July, Bogusz corner. So with Kai on, I just think we needed better service, and we didn't get that out of Bouanga.
I think that's a really good point. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Darren.
I was going to say, I think that's a really good point. You've got a playmaker who can finish in Bogusz versus Bouanga, who's a finisher who isn't finishing. That seems like a...
Yeah.
I do
his
think
decision making wasn't great from Bouanga today.
They had his number on the cutbacks. Like he always brings it back to his opposite foot when he gets challenged on the breakaway, and they always had another player there. On top of that, in transition, it seemed like they always knew where our passes were going to be in the first half. The second half, we looked a lot more dynamic, I think. But Isaiah, before you go, will you say something really mean about Vince?
No, but one more thing though, I want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Around like the hydration break, 75th minute, right? That's when it rolls down.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought once I seen like on the camera that Hollingshead was jogging towards the side, the change was for Campos. I don't think Campos got subbed on, but I would have liked to see Campos maybe like
totally agree.
Making that overlapping run, but we just didn't get that. Hollingshead wasn't bad, but I just think in the situation we were in, we could have used that threatening overlap run from Campos and into Kamara late. So that's all. I think we could have made better changes. It's not that they were bad, but yeah, I would have liked to see Campos later on in the game.
Yeah, sure. I think at that moment though, they're out of windows because they make the O'Brien sub at halftime. That doesn't count.
Murillo is what fucked the window up, right?
Yeah, Murillo kind of messes up your windows, and I think, and then obviously Giroud having to come out. Let's say he doesn't have, you know what I mean. So, but I agree with you. Like in that type of game, you would have loved some more quality service because it wasn't working to just go at the defenders. I thought as much as Bouanga was, maybe his decisions weren't great. Like they did a really good job of collapsing in the middle of the field, and it's kind of like, if you could get somebody in a wider spot to lay it off to and then get behind him in that way, I agree with you. Campos has a good delivery from that area of the field, and that could have been a weapon. But I think, they were out. I think they were out of windows, if I remember correctly.
Isaiah, thanks for calling in. I feel like you always have really smart stuff to say, so please keep calling in. Look, I personally am happy that we lost. I think it was good. I like coming in second, and I just want to make it clear to everyone in the chat, this is a fun thing for me to do after a loss in a final. I like doing it. I'm having fun. This is something,
and I think LAFC is in great form. They're looking great. It's great to see them play in the finals. We're very happy there and don't need any more. I'm just very happy with their play today, and not wanting to fire the coach and change everything about our tactics is what
or game model.
That I'm happy with everything that they do.
Look, hold on. I have to interrupt myself. Yay. Another $4.99 super chat. Only LAFC allows a coach to stay after losing 4 finals in a row. We should all be putting Dolo out in the LAFC page so that they can get rid of him. Angry face. Yay.
Do we count the Champions Cup? We count the Champions Cup. That was a real final.
Yeah, we count it.
Yeah. Okay. Why wouldn't we count that?
It.
It's a weird one, yeah.
Too.
If you agree with Yay, go ahead and
Campiones Cup.
Go ahead and say Dolo out on the LAFC page. The three of us do not agree with Yay, but thank you for the super chat, genuinely. Look, I think Yay is ops for Carson. I think this hurts a lot. That's what we're seeing in the chat and we're seeing on Twitter. People are very upset. I think that that's fair. I think there is a bigger, scarier question that comes out of this game. And we're going to record a preview episode tomorrow for the 2 games we have next week. And this will without a doubt be the storyline, I think, that I'm going to start with, which is how does this loss affect the rest of the season? Because it was incredibly, it hurts as a player to lose in a final and can be mentally very taxing. The game is on Wednesday. It is Sunday. They're playing against a team that really wants to beat us. And on top of that, we're not going to have Murray and we're not going to have, I mean, maybe we'll have Murray and Giroud.
You don't know that for sure.
Right. We might have them, but I'm concerned that on turf, they might want to give them both a break.
Safe, at least.
And then if we lose that game, what happens then, right? We've seen this team have mental downs before at the beginning of this season, the middle of last season. That's what happens over the course of any season. But like right now is when the games in the regular season really start to matter. So losing 2 tournament games in 1 week could really have a bit of a confidence killing effect on the team. And so I'm praying that they find a way to let this slide off their backs. But I have a feeling we might see some effects of it come Wednesday.
But I mean, I think that honestly, of all the things that we can be like so worried about, you make a very good point. Like we play another important pivotal knockout match 3 days from now. Mentally, I think these are maybe it's kind of apples to oranges with the Champions League that year before, but you make a good point. You're some way mentally you're going to have to get over this. They were very much in that game until the absolute final minutes of the game, and so they're going to have to get over it. There may be some injuries. There has been a lot of games in a very short period of time, and they're going to continue to play every 3 days for a little bit because of everything that's going on. So I would say that like you could be angry, but more so than anything, I would be concerned about what comes next, more so than completely overhauling the team, which again, they will look at this final and they will systematically break it down and wonder what did go wrong. What could be different? I don't think it's going to be the coach for this one. That's my opinion. You can disagree with me. But if you think that LAFC literally walks out of this and goes like 2nd place, we're cool with it. That's not what they're doing. But when they don't make the change that you want, it's still not what they're doing. They're not happy with 2nd place. It's just they're not making the change that you want. Sorry.
And so when you did get hired, you got hired to carry the water of Steve Girondolo?
Yeah, actually, he likes his espresso at a certain time every day. And so I will have to be on guard. And I'll tell you what, you guys think that he sits back and he doesn't yell at the players enough. But when that man does not get his espresso at 2:30 after training, I've never seen someone more mad.
And what do his boots taste like specifically?
It's a grass blend. There's a little bit of sand that they use.
So, Vince, if you got that role, does that mean that they fired Vanni Sartini?
See,
from that role?
Here's the thing. And I shouldn't even be saying this.
Are they just increasing the staff?
The problem is this. You're not supposed to be public with this. So I really shouldn't be telling you this. And Vanni just got too public in his outward love of the man. He likes everything behind closed doors. So I gotta just stop right now.
Look, like I said before, if you're not subscribing, please subscribe to the YouTube or our podcast. Give a thumbs up. I don't think any of us are happy. We all have different solutions to this problem, and we're going to express it in different ways. No one is happy we came in 2nd place. I think I would have rather come in 3rd place than 2nd place, honestly.
I want to show this one for everybody that thinks that we only carry the water of LAFC and we are on the payroll. No, I have bad news for you. The ticket prices will go up regardless of how the team plays. Sorry.
But there were so many people there for Leagues Cup. They have to raise the price.
And if LAFC hears me saying that, they're probably not going to be very happy with me.
Vince, before we forget, we've been talking about the fact that you've been looking for a job for a while. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about the specifics, but I think we are all very happy to say that Vince has found employment. We have hired Vince.
Hashtag
Vince,
hired Vince.
tell us whatever you want to tell us. I think we can say you're not hired by a soccer team, so we don't have to worry about losing you, right?
I think the good news for everybody is I'm definitely. A lot of people were like, "Are you going to Carson?" No, I'm not. I'm not going to a soccer team at all. I will be soccer adjacent. I'm going to be working at Cosm, which shows soccer games, and I would just say that if it's something that interests you, there's a lot of videos out there of the kind of the technology that they have. Check it out. Because
What
I'll be
Cosm
around.
is like a mini. It's like the Sphere, but you can watch sports games there in Inglewood, correct?
It looks
Correct.
fucking awesome.
It's
And
in
do
the
they
same
want to
comp-
sponsor a podcast?
You know
Yeah,
what?
wait.
I mean, we're doing such a good job here. Maybe we could work that out. But no, I would say honestly, if it's something that interests you, and beyond that, they have some really cool like nature, planetarium type stuff and other shows that go with it that I'm actually very, very excited about. But this is a soccer show, so yes, they show Premier League games, and you can go and watch like Manchester United versus Liverpool. That's fun.
Philly commented, "Great job on the pod, fun listen. See you guys Friday when we collect our LAFC issued checks for positive propaganda."
Yeah, that's the
110 for
thing.
life.
That's the thing I hate, Philly, is like they're paper checks. Like get
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
times.
Philly,
Why
you've been
don't-
at this
well-
longer than we have. Can you maybe talk to them about some kind of direct deposit situation?
Yeah.
I think that's what we really need.
We're going to be back with a preview episode for Seattle and I think Houston. Although, no, wait, we have a rule where we don't talk about Houston. I forgot we never preview Houston.
can't talk about Houston. Sorry to interrupt you, Travis, which is I should be interrupting you because even bringing them up is sacrilege on this podcast for no reason. Gerard Rios writes, "Good job for a step further from homelessness."
Legit.
I mean, a little darker than I think you meant it, but yes.
Oh yeah, but
Definitely.
those thoughts definitely creep in. That happens.
Philly says he's on it. Thank you so much, Philly. It's all about because I think at this point, once we're all game for the propaganda, it's all about efficiency, right?
We don't talk about Houston. Just want to remind everyone, Houston does not exist in the universe of this podcast.
We
If
should
play-
name the episode "We Don't Talk About Houston."
We don't talk
It's
about.
true. We don't talk about Houston.
So
It's
not
the
only is it like,
Seattle / Houston match preview. We don't talk about Houston. Is the
well, yeah, so you know right away we're not going to talk about Houston, but also that's our line. We don't talk about Houston.
Yeah, we
And
don't talk
yet, why we landed there is astounding to me because we still somehow talk about Vancouver. We still somehow talk about Seattle.
Well, get a coach that
We
does.
still
really
somehow
weird
talk
things.
about San Jose. What are we doing here?
Oh, San Jose is teetering. I can tell you for sure, Travis is very close to cutting them.
yeah, I think
I'd
we
cut
got to
them off.
get.
Cut the whole corner of the country off. Just
Yeah,
I don't want
Not-
to talk about MLS. We don't. Let's
Yeah.
talk about walkable cities. Let's talk about the TV. Like what? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Houston, not so much a walkable city.
Houston, not a walkable
In certain
city.
areas, in like little pockets.
We play Houston back to back. J140 says, "Well, that's nice. It's less podcasting we have to do."
That's a
one of-
vacation, baby.
One of them is the weekend of my birthday, so I will not be there. So I will absolutely not be talking
I
about.
will
Oh,
say,
right.
not talking about Houston doesn't necessarily mean there will be no show that week. It just means that if we do a show, we won't be talking about Houston on the
Yeah.
show. And it might mean there's no show.
Look, this was not a fun post game reaction. This was not fun to do. I imagine it was for everyone not fun to watch. I hope we provided some level of catharsis for what was an awful afternoon for all of us. It is now dark here in sunny Los Angeles, much like it is dark in the spirit of all LAFC fans after our fourth final loss out of 5 in team history. That said, 5 finals in 7 years. Not going to say it. People are going to be mad at me for saying it. So never mind. We should just be sad. Look, watching sports is hard when your team loses, especially when you're good enough to win tournaments and you're not doing it. And I think that's what people are expressing here, right? Is we are good enough to win some of these games. Luck is not falling our way. I don't think we're better than the Columbus Crew. I don't think we are. I don't know how we match up against Miami. We are probably the best team in the West. I think the East is much better than us right now. And I think as we get towards the end of the season where we're going to start playing some playoff games, we're going to be feeling good about beating Vancouver in the playoffs or whatever the fuck. We need to remember that there's a fucking dragon on the other side of the country. And that dragon has a taste for Falcon. Was that anything? Did that metaphor work at all?
Wow,
A little, yeah, sure. Yeah. I would imagine a dragon would eat a falcon.
Greg, so happy to hear. Glory to Columbus. I love when people from other teams come and answer
Yeah.
our chat. Thanks for
Come and
being here.
gloat. You earned it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, this is why I didn't go to Columbus. It felt awful last time. I don't want to do it this time. Good, hard-fought game, guys. Look, that's a Columbus fan saying that. Yeah, I actually was happy with the second half. That's what we were talking about. It was unlucky at the end of the second half, but that's
exciting.
the best half we've played against the Columbus Crew since they've been as good as they've been. And before we go,
honestly. Sorry,
I want to say I don't like Diego Rossi anymore. It's happened. I hate Diego Rossi. And when I see him, I get annoyed. I get angry. I know that there's a fondness there forever. But now, whenever I see him, I feel angry. And that didn't used to happen when he first joined the Crew. So, Diego Rossi, you are not my friend anymore.
Yo, I've made it there with.
He's going to be
with
devastated.
I've made it there with McCarthy too.
Man.
Yeah.
He's going to be so upset.
I'm going to block him.
You should.
Look, fuck Diego Rossi. What you guys want to talk about? Cities?
Stay out of our mentions, Rossi.
Yeah.
Stay out of our DMs.
We don't like your city.
We are. This is such a funny comment from Jay Gutierrez at the end of it. That's what we've been talking about. This is exactly. He said, "Fuck another final loss." Yes, we've been talking about it for an hour now.
That is the premise.
Y'all are still on. I wish we weren't, Gomez.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I just
and then he said, in the ER, gotta go.
I love doing this.
Are you, Gomez, are you in the ER?
Oh my God, Gomez.
Because Gomez, don't hurt yourself after this loss.
We are the best show to.
Do you see Low Man Trash Can there? Is he okay?
Look, I am.
I know he's all grown up. You know, he's not that cute child actor that we once loved. That Diego Rossi.
He scored our first goal for the against the Sounders, and he scored a bunch of goals against us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Happy Foot Sappho. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe on YouTube if you're not a subscriber. We do these after every game. We do previews every week. This has been as fun as it could be, despite it being honestly like pulling teeth for a lot of it. But thanks for being here. And honestly, thank you for your support. It means a lot that there were some super chats tonight. And also like the chat was popping off. It always is so fun to have a community to be here to yell at each other when we're feeling like shit and to celebrate with each other when we feel good. So this is a fun little world we've built. And we're so happy that you guys are all a part of it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you have a good rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you in the preview, baby. I love you. Bye.
That's eating shit, baby.
Vince?
I love you. Bye.
You're welcome, baby.
You're welcome, Vince.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
goodbye.
I love the